So, all right. Yay, happy Friday. So, let me welcome you again. My name is Mike Steffen. I am a rep for Palen Music Center in Liberty, Missouri, which is outside of Kansas City, if you're not familiar with the area. And I'm a saxophone player by training, a music educator by training, and have now been with Palen for 9 years. And my role during this craziness has been to host all kinds of events like this. And we've been having a lot of fun meeting new people, hearing ideas, sharing ideas, laughing together about the silliness of this world right now, and just growing together. So really appreciate you guys giving some of your time this morning. We're going to hear from a few different people who said that they would like to share about what they are doing with recruiting. But we're going to start. I'm going to introduce Alyssa Bell to you guys, and most of you probably know her, but Alyssa's been doing online learning and online private teaching for quite some time now. And so she's going to be chatting about what she does with that, how she learned through that process, what kinds of techniques she uses, and things that might help you as you're interacting with your kids. So Alyssa, take it away. Tell us a little more about yourself and go ahead.
Hey guys, I see a lot of familiar faces, so good morning to everyone. Hi Michelle. Hi Diane. Um, so I have been teaching in the Kansas City area since about 2009. I had a little departure to Baltimore to do my master's, and then I came back and was teaching. So I've been teaching privately. I teach at Harmony Project, which I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about, but it's the El Sistema program in the Northeast of part of downtown KC. And I teach at Northwest Missouri State University. And is that all my? Oh, I teach at Soundwave Academy, which is a chamber music and ear training academy that I started with my colleague Esgy. Um, and so through this process, I've been doing all of those things in different ways. Most of the time, I'm using Zoom, and in the past, when I was teaching online, I was using Google Hangouts, but I think we've kind of figured out that Zoom works a little bit better for our music kids. So basically, what I do is I use a Zoom for my Zoom lessons. So I don't know if you guys have these Zoom recorders, but they're super easy to use as mics as well. If you don't have an external mic, so I use that, and then I have all my sound settings set up, which I'm sure you guys already know, the original sound and disable background noise stuff set when I'm teaching as well.
Alyssa,
Um,
can you tell us a little more about that? Because I think that the
yeah.
original sound idea is not familiar to everybody.
Okay. So if you guys are, not everybody will have this on your app, maybe. Some of you will, some of you might not. But if you have the app downloaded on your computer and it's recently updated, you should have it. And if you don't, then try downloading it again or something. So if you go down to the bottom left of your screen where it says mute, there should be a little arrow pointing up next to it. And if you click that arrow, hopefully you get a box that at the bottom says audio settings. If you click audio settings, then you're going to go in down to the bottom right where it says advanced. And that's the button that you either have or you don't have. So if you have it, then you can do original sound. If you don't have it, then you have to try to download it again or use a different device. Okay, and then at the top of that, the box, when you click advanced, you'll see a little check box option that says show in meeting option to enable original sound from microphone, and you want that checked. Because what that does is it takes all the compression that they're putting in for speaking voices out, and it just plays the sound of the room. So you're still getting the mic, whatever mic you're using, but you're getting the room sound instead of the compressed sound and the equalized sound. So you're getting all of the range spectrum of frequencies that your mic can pick up, basically.
Perfect.
And then there's two drop down arrows that say suppress persistent background noise and suppress intermittent background noise. You want to just put those on disable so that you're getting, again, the room sound. And I have the background noise enabled right now because I'm speaking to you guys and I don't know what's going on in the background, but I don't think, that's affected. So if you're playing, if your kids are playing and stuff, you want those obviously to be set in that way. It's easier, you can hear better. Um, if you don't have original sound enabled, sometimes you guys will notice that you'll hear like the violin will be playing and they'll be playing the scale, and then suddenly when they get to like the high part of the scale, it just like drops out. The sound drops out kind of. Or same thing with like low instruments. And that's because of the original sound setting. So if you guys can get them to figure out how to change that, so that they can enable it. And what you want it to say in the top left of your screen is turn off original sound when you're looking at your picture right now, and that means it's on, which is also kind of confusing. But yeah, so I've had those sound settings going, and that's been working pretty well for me. Some kids don't have it, and it's harder with those kids, obviously. But we manage. So private lesson teaching, and with the Harmony Project, we've been doing a lot of uploading videos and Google Classroom, and I'm sure you guys who are school teachers have been doing Google Classroom or uploading stuff, so you guys already know the deal with that. So spending a lot of time doing that. And then with Soundwave Academy, we've been doing group Zoom classes. And I'll just show you guys like a tiny little thing that we did where you can see all the kids. Maybe if I can share my screen with you. Let's see. Oh, I don't think I can share my screen with you because I'm not the host.
Hang on, let me see. I should be able to change that setting.
Okay.
Um,
Oh no, I can. I figured it out. It was hidden.
yes.
Found it.
Right.
Okay. So can you guys all see this area of the screen? Yeah. Okay. So this is just a little clip of them playing together. So basically, I was playing the exercise. It's an ear training exercise, and I had my sound muted so I couldn't hear them and it wouldn't confuse me. And then they just were kind of going along with me with the ear training exercise. So that's just a little taste of some things that we've been doing. But yeah, it's been an interesting learning experience. There's been some creative opportunities for figuring out how to deal with the situation and what things to teach the kids that maybe we wouldn't have gone down that path necessarily if we were in the classroom, if we were meeting every week in person. I don't know if we would have, we did some like conducting stuff, and maybe we wouldn't have gotten into that conducting stuff if we weren't on video and had to figure out something to do with these kids.
That's
So,
cool.
it's kind of exciting to just like think about the options that you have, even though you're limited in these situations. I've also been doing a studio class with my private students, which has been awesome. It's been, again, Zoom. I've been wanting to do that for years with my kids, but I have kids all over town. I have kids in North Kansas City and Liberty, and I have kids in Olathe, and I have kids in Lee Summit. And so I've never been able to find a time where I could have all of them at the same place at the same time consistently. And this has kind of forced that to happen. And so we've been doing this Zoom studio class once a week, and they've been playing their solos, and they've been moving through rep, fairly quickly. And it's just been really cool because they're getting to perform for each other even over the, the screen. And they can give feedback to each other, and I think it's a good learning experience in general to do studio class, but it's worked really well for the Zoom setting. So I would highly suggest doing that if you guys have large private studios, because that's been a cool thing. Yeah.
Totally stealing that. Whoop, there you go. I'm totally stealing that one. I do about 12 private lessons a week,
Uh-huh.
but I have not had them do studio class recently. I mean, that's wonderful. Great idea. So, Alyssa, can you tell us about a few of your other projects? Can you talk to us a little more about Soundwave Academy,
Yeah.
your scale studies for the Violist yearbook, your stickers that are your colorful circle of fifth stickers? I mean, tell us about kind of some of the other creations that you've made and some tools that might help them in the classroom.
Yeah. So Soundwave Academy, just to recap that, it's a chamber music and ear training academy in KC area. So we don't do like, some of my students are involved, but it's not like come here and do private lessons and ear training and theory. It's like you're doing private lessons somewhere else. Come here for ear training and theory and chamber music. So it's kind of a supplemental thing. And so we meet once a week on Tuesdays at Emmanuel Lutheran Church in the Westport area. So it's kind of a central location. We have kids from Lee Summit and kids from North Kansas City, who come. And it's cool. We've been doing that. This is our first year doing it, and we're trying to kind of grow it. And the kids really like it. And we had our last class on Tuesday, and they were like, "What are we doing in the summer?" And we were like, we're gonna have to think of something because they want to stay engaged, which is cool. So yeah, we're trying to work on recruiting for that. So I know we're going to get to a recruiting
We are.
portion here at some point,
Mhm.
and that would be helpful for us because during this time it's like, okay, we're going to start next fall with chamber music where we're all in the same room, and how are we going to get kids to sign up for that that aren't
Right, for real.
already involved, um,
Yeah, tell us about your
but
book and your stickers.
the book is Scale Studies for the Violist Ear, and it's a scale book that I created based off of the scale portion and arpeggio portion is based off of the fingering system that my teacher at Peabody, Victoria Chang, gave me, and the other exercises are intervals. So you have broken thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths, eighths, or octaves, and then there's some diatonic arpeggiated chord section of it. So it's like a 3-page, but it's large print. Let me grab one really quick.
Yeah. While she's grabbing one to show you, I was going to try to show you a picture, but I don't think my phone's going to show very well there. Oh, there kind of does.
Okay,
Yeah,
so this is it.
there you go. Yep.
And I had a friend do artwork for the front, which is cool. And then I did the circle of fifths thing that Mike was talking about. I have stickers that are in this version and all the
Yeah.
fluffs. But yeah, so the print is, fairly large. I wanted something that was like, first of all, I was sick of putting my fingerings into other people's books. And I was like, I'm just going to do this because I'm sick of writing this a million times. But I wanted something that wasn't like super intimidating to look at for kids, and the print is large enough and the fingerings are clear, and it's not like, the the flush scale system that has like 3 pages per key or so, but like it's like all black, 16th notes, and it just looks intimidating. And there's a ton of exercises in there, and so this is something that's like approaching a book that would be that intense, where you already know your scales and stuff like that. This is just an introduction to like ear training and to a scale routine, basically, that is approachable. So that's that.
And we've got some of those books at Palen Music and Liberty, and we got those stickers as well. Do you have any of the stickers that you can show them? These are like stickers you can
Um,
use on your cases or
I don't have
posters
any
or
close, but they're just this,
yeah.
except a sticker, and they're not this big.
Yeah, two
They're
two
like 2 or 3 inches.
inches
Yeah.
and 3 inches, right? Yeah. So I bought a set of those, and my kids are going to get one. Like whenever they learn all 12 of their major scales, they're going to get one of those stickers to put on their case or to put on whatever they want to. So they're kind of geeking out about that right now, and it's a real it's a colorful addition to the bland circle of fifths that we've all been staring at our whole lives, black and white. The ones that we always have to redraw and we print off from the internet and whatever. So I love that she's added some color that just makes it more appealing to look at. I'm a big fan of that one. Okay, so while we're going to take another maybe 10 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes, and talk about kind of what is working and what is not working in your classes right now. Um, I know that some folks are just needing some more ideas to finish out the year. You got a few weeks left. You got 3 to 4 weeks left, and you're kind of grasping at straws, trying to find what are those last activities. So be thinking for a second. I'm gonna talk for just another second if you want to think about what idea you'd like to share. But I just want to again reassure you that whatever you're doing is important for your kids, and whatever you're doing is the right thing. Some of you are doing master classes online, and some of you are doing videos to your kids, and some of you are mailing packets, and there's all kinds of things you can do to support your kids right now. And bottom line is they need to feel that they're loved by you and that they're cared for. Do you guys know who Scott Lang is? Some of you may, and some of you may not. Scott Lang, Lang. He is a very, very important motivational speaker in the music ed community, and you need to be aware of him if you are not. So Scott Lang, and check out his websites, beapartofthemusic.org. Sorry, maybe there's not a, maybe it's just be part of the music, I think, .org. And he's got some great webinars you can check out. He's got a lot of, the be part of the music.org actually has a lot of recruiting stuff that we're going to talk about here in just a second. But anyway, just make sure that you're being kind to yourself and remembering that everybody's in this together. And this is just one part of your world. It will end. Okay, Michelle, you had a quick question for Alyssa. And I don't know if, Alyssa, can you see that in the chat? Were they all playing together? Can you explain?
Yeah, I tried to answer, and then I accidentally just sent it to Rebecca Doss privately. So Rebecca got the version. But basically, what I was gonna say is, so they couldn't hear. Okay, you can hear me good. They couldn't hear each other. They could hear me, and I turned it down so I couldn't hear them. So I tried a couple versions. I tried a version where it was like, I'm gonna see if I can hear them all at the same time, and if they're together. And that like sort of worked, but the timing with the internet just wasn't like right on. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like, it was kind of a lost cause at that point. But it's that would be more of like a self-assessment type thing. Like they're gonna play with you, and or whatever recording you have going through or whatever, and they're gonna have to just like make sure they're with you and make sure that they're in tune and stuff on their own. So that's the thing with that is it's not, you can't get them to play at the same time that I've
Right.
found, unless anyone else has found that.
I'm
I
so
don't know.
glad that you showed that on Facebook because I was not doing that with my private students until I watched your video and I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Just have them mute themselves and they can play along with you, you know? So we
Yeah,
do a little bit of that in all my private lessons now too, thanks to your broadcasting of that idea. So
awesome.
that's great. Okay, does anybody else like to share something that is working for them or that they've been particularly excited about? So maybe some folks on this call can take one or two more ideas away with them. Oh,
Um,
Jocelyn Garner, go ahead.
yeah. So I've been doing
Jocelyn, can
one,
you tell us who you are and what you're doing, where you are?
yeah. So I'm Jocelyn Garner and I'm at Fort Zumwalt East High School. And I do a little bit with band and guitar and orchestra. And I'm really a native oboist. So the conducting part of that comes really well, but actually playing with them over Zoom was something that was a little terrifying to me. But I found some great like a D major rhythm variation warm up on YouTube. So I have the link for them on one of these Zoom lessons. And so we'll all hit play at the same time and we're all muted so we can see each other playing when we're not focused right on the video. But the sound we're hearing is from this great guy, and I can share the link to that video if anyone wants it. And then we'll also use smart music. So then I'll tell them to pull up the piece, and then we'll all hit play at the same time and play along with smart music. And then on the other Zoom meeting time during the week, we play Music Pictionary. So I'll share my screen so you can kind of see how I'm doing that. So I'll tell them they can hum it. They could think of how they would finger that on their instrument. And then they either talk or type in the chat when they figured out the name of the tune. And then we transitioned last week to some interval lessons. So then we went back and looked at the game songs to figure out some of the intervals.
Jocelyn, that's really cool. Can you share Music Pictionary, maybe that website with us about how you were able to
Oh, so that's in Flat. Yeah, flat.io. And
flat.io?
yeah, and so I just titled that composition Music Pictionary.
Oh, okay. So you actually made it and you titled it. So
Yeah, and I can't completely take credit for that. I have to give credit to Tom Perry down in Fox.
okay.
Uh,
Oh, Tommy Perry, yeah.
yeah. So, and he was, when he showed it, he was like typing it in real time. And
Oh, cool.
I found that I had a little more luck with the awkward silence if I already had some loaded for them.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, there's so much awkward silence on these calls, right? Especially with
Right.
with your kids who don't quite know how to socially interact in the first place yet. They're still learning all that. And now you put them in front of a screen and they're used to just talking all the time if they play video games on, if they play multiplayer games, they're talking all the time anyway, so they don't understand how to either be quiet or, or sit still or whatever. So it's a
Right.
brave new frontier. Okay, so Jocelyn, you're talking about Music Pictionary. I put flat.io on there. You said smart music, and you're all starting together and kind of muting and playing together, right? Was there
Yes.
something else that I missed while I was moving some stuff around on here?
Um, there's a D major scale with rhythm variations YouTube video that we play
You made
along with.
scale with rhythm variations. Okay, perfect, perfect. Alyssa just shared something. Do we know about tonesavvy.com? Alyssa, can you talk to us about tonesavvy.com?
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys know about this already, but it's a music theory and ear training website, and they have pre-made exercises.
Mm,
Uh, like you can customize as basic all the way up to advanced,
perfect.
interval identification and chords and blah blah, blah all that stuff. And you create assignments, and you create a group of students, and you give them a sign in, so they know how to sign into this account. And then, yeah, it's super easy. You don't like the assignments are already built. You just decide what the parameters are. So if you're like, we only want to work on major and minor thirds or something, you can put that in there. And then when they complete the assignment, it shows you they completed the assignment. So it's an easy, like if you don't have access to maybe all of these other programs, it would be an easy thing to do. And I think they're doing a free for educators thing. So if you have an
Mm.
.edu or something, or a school related email address, then it's free for you. So yeah, that's a good thing to supplemental material if you guys want to add in any theory or your training stuff.
Great, 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 great. Okay, so tonesavvy.com. I typed that in the chat box. All right. Thank you, Alyssa. Before we move on to recruiting stuff, I want to give you a few more minutes here to share ideas. Marie Coleman, you're on the call, right? I think I saw you. There you are. Do you want to talk to us about orchestra bingo and how that went?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm happy to. And Michelle and Rebecca and Nandra, feel free to pipe in. We did an orchestra bingo. It's a program that you can buy, and our fine arts coordinator, Aaron Money, was able to find the cards. I don't remember where he found them. I think he
I can't remember what it was. It was like freebingocards.com or something like that. I remember.
but basically, we set up a Zoom and sent out a Google form for everybody that wanted to do it to register. And we just wanted to have a way for our kids to see each other in kind of a fun setting instead of just like, let's sit here and look at each other and not know what to do, which has been my experience with schoolers because they're awkward enough anyway, like you were saying. And then, you have the added pressure of like the computer screen looking at them. So anyway, the bingo game, we had about almost 200 kids register. It was awesome, 5 through 12
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
grade. So we had our Aaron calling the numbers. I had trivia questions so that we could get more prizes, and had a DJ from Parker Stanley. So we just tried to make it as fun as we could. And prizes are, I think, I can't remember what, but we all have like extra shirts, and those will probably be the prizes. So trying to
Nice.
make it as cost effective as possible. So it was a fun way to see everybody, and I think the kids had fun, hopefully. But
I think we did.
yeah, right. I think your
I
daughter,
was a parent.
yeah. So yeah, it was a fun way to just connect with everybody in a fun way. So
Yeah, it was a neat idea. Okay, before we move on to recruiting, anybody else want to share anything? Kind of wave your hand at me. We've got a couple screens here, so let's see. I think we're all ideaed out, right? We got a lot of ideas that have been thrown our ways. Oh, Diane, do you want to say something? Maybe talk about your porch concerts or what else is going on?
This week I kicked off orchestrated children's books with my middle school kids. And each day this week I gave them 2 bowing techniques to review. Some of them very simple, staccato versus legato, some of those kinds of things. But I also used it as a way to introduce some new things like glissando and trills and things like that. And so I made them an instructional video with 2 techniques a day this week. And then in the meantime, we've been talking about what have our favorite books been as kids and what have we enjoyed the most. And so they've all picked out a book. And then next week, I'm going to take them through kind of a composition activity with it. And we're going to identify the characters in our book and what are some possible things you might do on your instrument sound-wise to represent the character. And then we're going to go through what are some of the actions in the book. Are they running? Are they swimming? Are they doing whatever? And how can that be musically represented? And I orchestrated a Goldilocks and the Three Bears for them as kind of an example, and I made them a YouTube video of that book, and so they're really excited about it. We've had so far a really positive response, and some of the kids that have not participated yet finally jumped in this week.
That's super fun.
Yeah.
So they're orchestrating music to a children's book of their choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. I actually did it with my high schoolers back in October. We took scary stories. I emailed the English department and they sent me a bunch of different stuff. And so we did scary stories back in October with the high school kids and made theirs far more complicated than this. But it's been a really positive activity for the kids so far.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one more activity to share, and then we'll move on to some recruiting stuff. Melissa Heil, go ahead and unmute and share about what you've been doing.
Hi, I had, what did you say? Hi, I teach in St. Joseph. This is my third year, and I have elementary and middle school and high school. And I have one activity that I got pretty good response on, probably because it was early in this whole mess. But it was a Google form with a little video on violin repair, which I thought was interesting. Probably somebody else shared it on Facebook, and I was like, oh, hey, I don't remember how I found it. And then just some things. What was the most interesting thing you saw in the video? What surprised you most in the video? Do you like one that's shiny or kind of beat up like this old one? And most people said they preferred shiny, although a few were like, I like the patina of that old one. Oh, and what is a person who fixes violins called? And look it up if you don't know. So I got 38 responses, although some of them were repeats. And that's probably the best response I got on anything. So I thought it was interesting and fun. And I guess maybe some of them did too. That's all.
All right, cool, Melissa. Thank you so much for sharing. So speaking of what is a violin maker and repair person called, we've got our Palen Music Center head luthier, Carl Franks, on the call. Carl's got his Boston Red Sox jersey on this morning in his workshop. Good morning, Carl. And guys, I'm going to be sharing a 3D tour of Baroque Violin Shop, which is up in Cincinnati. So they posted a cool thing that's a 3D tour of their shop, and you can click through and walk through. It's kind of like one of those real estate tours, that you take of a new home, but you can walk all the way through their building, and it's really an awesome thing. That might be something fun for you to share with your kids too, so they can see a shop filled with stringed instruments and folks that only work on them and take care of them. Okay, so I'll share that. Great. So let's move on into the recruiting session. So something that we need to remember during this time is that even though this seems scary and it seems like I don't know how I'm going to recruit these kids, I don't know where I'm going to find them, how I'm going to communicate with them, you're actually left with a really great opportunity, because there are very few other programs in the school that are working as hard as the music programs are to figure out where these kids are going to go next year. So take that opportunity to jump in and find those kids. And when you come out of this, you should be stronger than ever, because again, you guys were the ones that were proactively working to get those kids recruited. So there is a lot of materials. I want you to write down bepartofthemusic.org. If you have not already gone to that website, bepartofthemusic.org. That is a organization run by Scott Lang, who's a motivational speaker in the music ed community. Tons and tons of free stuff on that site. There are customizable letters for you to send out. There's a website builder. You can plug in your own information and they will automatically generate a website for you. Kids can fill out information on there, and that information is sent to you, not to them. They are a free service that's sponsored by a lot of different music companies across, like instrument manufacturers and stuff across the country. So he is able to keep everything that he does for all music educators free. So really take advantage of that opportunity to use his resources. So website builder, letter generator. There are videos that introduce you to the different instruments. Palen Music has a video for both strings and band to introduce them to the instruments. It's a video that we made with one of our instrument manufacturers. It's really entertaining too. And the great thing about the videos, at least the video that we have that we can share with you guys, is it shows quite a wide variety of kids playing the instruments. There are a lot of socioeconomic statuses, there are a lot of races, there are a lot of, obviously lots of genders, it's lots of ages. The kids are kind of stumbling over the words sometimes. It's just very endearing. It's a very well put together video. So if you want me to share that with you, just send me a message or send me an email. I can send you the link, but they've asked that we don't have it posted publicly. So like if you wanted to show it to your kids, you can do that, but they don't want it, on social media and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put my contact information into the chat here. So if you don't have it, if you're somebody that's new to our calls and we haven't interacted before, I'm going to go ahead and give you my contact information, and you can feel free to reach out anytime. Because even though I may not be your rep, I'm still happy to help. You know, we're all in this together. So get all my stuff typed in here and send it to you. So with that being said, keeping in mind that you have a great opportunity to recruit kids, let's start brainstorming. Who's got some ideas, and what do you want to share about? Jamie Kleinert is in Independence, Kansas. Share with us what you're working on for next year, Jamie.
Well, and mine's probably a really good transition because it's actually an assignment that I gave to my kids. I started it last week and I repeated it for this week because kids said, oh, I didn't get a chance to do this and I want to. I had kids actually create recruiting material for me. I said, you know, make a poster, make a video, write a letter. I generally recruit in the fall, right at the beginning of the year. So I'm looking at the current fourth graders when they get to fifth grade. We're also losing our third through fifth grade elementary teacher at the end of this year. So we're going to have a lot of change going on. So I figured the sooner I start recruiting, the better off the program's going to be, the better off my kids are going to be. So let me share, I'm going to share my screen real quick and I'll show you some of what the kids came up with. Hang on. And I apologize. It's a loud day at our house today. That's my bird. Oh my gosh. Hang on. Sorry.
No worries, Jamie. We're all dealing with our own little things at home. Well, Jamie's pulling that up. Remember to be proactive. Start reaching out to your principals. Start reaching out to your counselors and see what you can do to make things happen in the fall, because they are looking for answers as well.
Okay, so this is a poster that one of my kids came up with. Her dad's a photographer, so she has access to some Adobe software that most kids probably don't. But she did this. She found all the clip art, put it together, and I love this. I'm actually going to get this printed in color and laminate it and probably use it for the next couple of years in the elementary school, like in the halls, as well as in my classroom that I share. But it's the perfect size and format that I can send it to the Facebook page, the person that maintains the Facebook page for the elementary school, and they can post it, and it's quick and it's there and it's immediate. Then I had a couple that did flyers that they took pictures from our performances earlier in the year and put together, again, things I can print out or send out digitally, as well as a little note. I have one student that did a letter, like an invitation. I don't have that one pulled up to share just because it's a little bit more personal. But I'm really impressed with these projects, and I'm looking forward to getting the next round. I'm actually going to take this one that I'm showing right now and put it together as like a trifold handout that I can send out to kids with a letter introducing myself and the program. So that's all students doing the work. That was me saying, hey, this is your group. Now I do normally use my students for recruiting even in the fall. We go and we do a concert, and I'm lucky to work for a small school where a lot of these elementary kids, they recognize the high schoolers. It's their siblings, their friends' siblings. It's the kids that are on the basketball team, the football team. Like, they see them all the time. So I'm really looking to try and make some of those connections now that will last through their entire career as a strings person, and hopefully keep them in the program for a long time to come. So
awesome. I mean, that flyer is beautiful that your kid made. A site that you guys might want to check out that is free if you don't have Adobe software is called Canva. It's like the word canvas without the S on it. Canva.com. And Canva has a lot of free templates that you can use, and it's very, very easy. Alyssa, what are you saying here? Poster my wall. What is that? Is that a website?
Yes, it's a website. Okay. They have a ton of templates also that you can customize. Super easy.
Okay, so postermywall.com. Okay, so those three words, postermywall.com. Check those out. A lot of a lot of other templates you can check out. So canva.com, postermywall.com. Yes, Jamie, please share instructions with me as far as what you did there. Very cool. Okay, Jason Beta, GIMP, open source software akin to Photoshop. You do not need skills like Photoshop. GIMP.
You do need skills like, it's not just a
whoa.
plug and play type thing. You
I see,
need to,
sorry.
yeah, but it's open source, and there's actually portableapps.com. If you go there, you can download stuff to your flash drive if your district won't let you put stuff on your computer.
Wait,
They have
portableapps.com.
Yeah, portableapps.com, because the way they keep stuff from loading on your computer is keeping it from hitting the registry.
Nice.
So the portable apps don't do that, and you can run it straight from your flash drives. So there's actually a MuseScore portable version at that site too. So yeah.
Brilliant. And so everything stays on your flash drive. You plug it into your computer. You never have to worry with your IT admin coming to unlock things for you. Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So some other things to consider when we come out of all this. Folks are going to be looking for jobs, right? And so some adults are going to be taking some of those after school jobs that your kids might have had in the past. So that some of your kids are going to be more likely to stay involved in orchestra because they don't have anything to do after school anymore. You know, they want to continue to do those school activities. So your older kids, as far as retention is concerned, that might be a positive for you that comes out of all this negative, all this sadness, you know, all this challenge for folks. So just, you know, keep that in mind. And, you know, there are going to be less kids playing club soccer, probably. There's going to be less kids playing club volleyball, things like that. They're going to be looking for activities that are in the school, you know. So this, you know, for the orchestra and band programs, this may be a really wonderful way to grow. So I hate to turn a negative for those programs into a positive for us, but that's really, you know, we're all trying to just take care of the kids. So I would imagine more kids are going to be involved now than in music than ever before. So let me share with you a couple of ideas that I've been learning about recently from some different folks around the country. That one of the programs that I was learning about, they are doing a phone tree over the summer, and so they've got a lot of sixth grade band and orchestra parents involved in calling all the kids who would be available to sign up next year, right? So they are getting that information from their principal and the counselors, and they are giving it out. Now, we're in kind of a gray area there, obviously, legally, if you were to be giving out phone numbers to band parents that, you know, as part of your, as far as FERPA or whatever that HIPAA, I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about. We got to be careful with all that stuff, but you may get approval from your admin to do something like that. But that's a good idea, because, you know, we sometimes forget that a one-to-one contact, just a phone call, is even better than an email. It's better than a text. It's better than a website. It's better than a Facebook post. It's better than a letter. I mean, like hearing somebody's voice and saying, "Hey, I'm a sixth grade orchestra parent, and, you know, I just wanted to call and see if your kid was signing up for orchestra next year. I wanted to answer some questions. If you had any concerns about it, where to get your instrument, you know, if they can do sports." That way, you got a dad to a dad, or mom to a mom, or they're answering some of those questions, and they're doing some of that work for you, because you can't do everything, right? And the influencers in your kids' worlds, unfortunately, are probably not you before they get in front of you in class. The influencers in their world are on TikTok. The influencers in their world are their neighbors, and their parents' influencers are their friends and their neighbors. So use those folks to help you out. So, okay, Kendra from Orlando. Kendra is from, she went to college in Missouri, but you're from California originally, right? And
Yeah.
Now down in Georgia teaching. So she's a friend of mine from Missouri State, hopped on the call. And so fill us in on what you're doing.
Kind of the same thing, the orchestra recruitment project. We did the same thing. We watched the Be a Part of the Music, or I had the kids watch that. And then I asked them to either write or submit videos. And if they submit it through, I'm not very tech savvy, so at all. But I found Flipgrid and I loved it. And so just here's an example of one of my sixth graders.
Hi, I'm Gia and I'm the orchestra. This is the violin. This is what I play. It's the smallest and highest sounding instrument.
So they like could introduce their instrument, they could play a little song, and with Flipgrid, you can make mixtapes. So I can take the portions of each kid's video, like either them introducing or my better players. I put those kids like, here's what it sounds like.
Super
So I don't
smart.
get like flat fingers or whatever. And then I can make a big mixtape, and then I'm sending that out because so many of our elementaries are using weekly newsletters, like digital newsletters right now, and so they can just embed those into their weekly newsletter, and there's my recruitment, and it's getting to a lot of parents. So that's what I did for recruitment.
Kendra, that's excellent. Yeah, so Flipgrid, if you don't know about Flipgrid, check that out. A lot of your kids are probably using it at the elementary level already. They're probably familiar with that if they have Chromebooks or one-to-one. I know my daughter has to make a Flipgrid every morning for her teacher. It's like a 10, 15-second Flipgrid. So she would be, somebody would be totally aware of how to do that. I'm sure many of your other kids would too. Check out TikTok. Last Friday, Bridget, who was on the call earlier that had the Zoom sweatshirt on, she is one of our reps in our Columbia store, in our Columbia, Missouri store. She did a session last Friday, and I'm happy to send you the video of it if you'd like. So she had a session on TikTok, Instagram, and what was the other one? Acapella. Those 3 apps. Your kids are using those already. If they have a mobile device, most of them are on those things. TikTok, TikTok. Instagram, you probably know how to spell. And then what do I say? Acapella with 2 L's in it. So she had 3 different directors on from her area talking about how to use those, what they are doing with those. And I can speak from experience as a parent. My 2 older kids are on TikTok like, God, I don't want to admit how many hours a day, like checking their friends, what they're doing. They're following people. It's crazy. So you as a teacher can get on there. You can have them make a little video for yourself. It's pretty cool stuff. So Rebecca Doss said, I would be interested in knowing who has participated in a porch or driveway concert. Who's done those with your kids? Diane, go ahead and unmute and talk about that a little bit.
Are you talking about for like a recruitment type thing where you go through a neighborhood, or are you talking about like what kind of a format are you looking at?
Rebecca, what do you think on that?
Sorry.
Okay.
I was just, I've seen that by some of private teachers, and it had nothing to do with the recruitment. Sorry. The thought popped in my head. So then I just pushed it out to Mike.
Sure. So
my high school kids are in the middle of a porch concert project right now. And so they will be submitting their final porch concert here in a couple weeks. And my plan is to kind of put all those together and do little excerpts in kind of like a movie to kind of feature what we've done. And I may be able to use that with some recruitment down the road.
Smart. Very, very
Thanks,
smart.
Diane.
Okay. And Diane Markley is in the Park Hill School System in Kansas City area. Okay, so a couple other things I want you to consider. I want you to reach out to your counselors. I want you to reach out to them and offer to help them, offer to help get kids into classes. Something that I just had kind of brought to my attention was that the counselors are probably next to the band directors and next to the administrators, kind of the most overworked people in the schools. You as an orchestra director and the band directors that you work with, you're always thinking about things. You're always working. You've got a ton of kids in front of you at any time, and you think about your counselor who probably got a degree in counseling, who would like to help kids, and most of their job is just to put kids in classes and to kind of corral them and do all kinds of things that the admin needs them to do. So if they have 400 or 500 kids, they're not able to sit and take care of them in the ways that they would like to. And so they're looking for help too. So maybe you can offer to go help build the schedule with them. Maybe you can go offer to go through the forms with them, the enrollment forms, just be a resource for them too, and see, they might take you up on that. And when I was going through college, I was taught to bring chocolate to my counselors regularly when I got a job, that I just needed to go take care of them and let them know that I really appreciated them and valued their jobs. So yeah, just reach out to them. And then if you're going to need to ask for some flexibility in the fall, because who knows even if we're going to start, maybe I'm assuming we're going to start in most places, but maybe it'll be a different kind of schedule. Maybe half the kids will come in the morning, half the kids will come in the afternoon to help with social distancing. Maybe we won't have fall sports. I think I've heard that Misha is talking about in the Missouri area, maybe not even doing the fall sports season at this point. So that's something that's going to change everything dramatically for folks. So if you want to ask them for an extended timeline, like if you normally recruit in the fall, maybe you need to ask them to push back that recruitment deadline and allow them to change how long they allow people to change their classes, maybe extend that. So what else are you doing right now to recruit?
So I'm using Twitter. That's what my school uses a lot. So I'll share my screen. I took a lot of these things from the bingo sheet that I made. So if any students wanted more, or they don't have an instrument to do like the smart music or the sight reading, then they could pick something from my bingo. So one of those ended up being, this is a student playing our alma mater. And we had a tradition at our high school of every Wednesday morning, a group would sing the alma mater. And so it was nice to be able to post this on a Wednesday. And then I recently, from one of your Palen sessions, somebody brought up Jib Jab. So I made one with
our Liberty folks,
our band and orchestra teachers. This was the day after we found out we would not be coming back at all this year. So we tried to get them to smile after that sad news.
Oh.
Then recently I started doing some senior spotlights for our orchestra students. So I've seen some students engaging with that. I try to also put it on Instagram, but the way Instagram, like the format of the photos, it's a little bit harder. I made this with slides. So I'm learning more about like Adobe Spark and Canva to find formats that work with Instagram, because other students use Instagram as well. So
yeah, Facebook is for old people. Facebook is for old people, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, Melissa Heil, do you want to talk to us about your recruiting video that you made? Are you able to share your screen and show that video to us?
I can do that. I shared this with my friends on Facebook, and then Mike said, "Hey, do you want to share it with everybody?" I'm like, "No, but okay, I will."
I wrote people into things quite a lot.
Yeah. So I've got it here. Not that one. Not that one. Oh shoot, where is it? I have a screen already. I just have to, okay. The thing he mentioned, the other teachers were talking about TikTok and kind of being fun and letting the kid, I don't know, just, and so that's sort of where I came to with this and some other ideas. I pulled like everybody's idea together. This wasn't my idea at all. Oh, wow. Can my phone tethering load all these things at the same time? And I think the answer might be no. Oh,
Hi there, strings folks. So this assignment is going to help with recruiting the fifth graders. And here's what I want you to do, please, is make a video telling us what you like about music, what you like about orchestra, what you like about playing strings. Play a little something, twinkle twinkle, anything like that. Yeah, and I'm gonna wish me luck on this. I have a program on an old computer splicing video together, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, send me your videos, it'll be fun. And so as an example,
sorry,
what this is me, imagine. So here's, okay, take one.
This isn't very long, by the way. It's about 45 minutes left. Seconds. So I play a little tune. Hopefully it'll catch itself up again.
okay. We all get it.
Hi,
Uh,
I'm Melissa Heil. I'm a senior at Shawnee Mission North, class of '88. Woo!
Yes.
All right, I like playing music because I do. Not really, words aren't my thing, but music is. And I like playing music a lot, and it's great to have fun in my orchestra class. We play good stuff. So, all right, that was the end of take one. And I want you to know it went better when I was practicing it because that's how it goes. So anyway, send me what you got. You don't have to send me your first take. This was my first take, and I think it went okay. Okay,
So-
it went okay. I'm okay with it. So, all right, I look forward to hearing from you. Bye, guys.
Great.
that was that. And I got a couple of responses. And this was a lovely cello suite from a senior who is studying with a Kansas City Symphony member. We'll see if it'll load that. Well, I'll let you imagine that one.
Okay.
But another student sent me the cutest little thing. He's a 6th grader. And never mind. There he is. And we'll see if it'll play his. Maybe not. So anyway, I got a few responses. My son sent one, but he forgot to, he uploaded it, forgot to send it to me. So it was just the idea to kind of have some fun. I might end up splicing that into there too if I don't get very many more responses, and I'll say, hey, that person looked familiar. I don't think she's one of my students. But so
Fun. Melissa,
yeah.
thank you for that. There's a couple
Sure.
things going on in the chat while Melissa was demoing her video. Let's see. Okay, what's the most used piece of communication your kids use? They like for online, easiest and best responses, Instagram. Okay, various ones, Snapchat, Google Classroom. Okay, cool. So sounds like a lot of folks that are teaching older kids are using Instagram. I can just tell you, like, TikTok is super popular right now. So TikTok and Instagram, I think TikTok has surpassed Snapchat. It's like the most downloaded app on the planet, I believe. And there's people of all ages and all varieties of lifestyles doing that. So so check that one out. All right. What other ideas do you have? We're going to wrap this up here in a minute, but I want to give you one more chance to share an idea. Anybody else want to say what they're doing? I know you probably have 9 o'clock meetings you need to get onto, so I don't want to keep you. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. Please be encouraged that you've got a lot of opportunity here to help your programs grow. So do what you can to get out there and meet those kids, reach out to them in any way you can. And yeah, you guys are wonderful. And yes, thank you to everyone who shared. Thanks to Palen Music for supporting us and doing these sessions, because this is what we're doing right now while everybody's stuck at home. They're keeping us on the payroll and they're having us do educational stuff, which I love. So anyway, all right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'm going to jump off here. Thanks, Alyssa, for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alyssa. Thanks, Mike.
All right, y'all. Take care. Bye.